Hello loves, welcome back to TigeraGitana. Today we are going to be covering the new moon that's happening in Libra this week on October 16th. I'm trying to do these a little bit earlier for you guys so you guys can prep. So we're going to be looking at the chart for this specific new moon. So I have my notes up, so let's get right into it. Now, on this day, Sun will be in Libra, Moon will be in Libra, Mercury will be in Scorpio, Venus is in Virgo, Mars is still in Aries, in retro, Mercury, retro, by the way, I forgot to mention that earlier, Jupiter, Capricorn, Saturn, Capricorn, Uranus, Taurus, Neptune, Pisces, Pluto in Capricorn. Chiron would still be in Aries in retrograde, Lilith is in Aries, North Node is in Gemini in retrograde as well. Now, let me just scroll down to my notes. There we go. Okay, so lots of things with this specific moon. Obviously the sun would be in a conjunction with the moon, because the sun is in Libra and the moon will be in Libra as well. So you are going to see that synchronicity, that balance, coming from the Libra side of the energies. You're going to feel a little bit more aligned. You're going to feel a little bit more within pleasure. You're going to feel a little bit more angsty in relationships for sure. It's all about the balancing act. Is your ego balance? Is your emotions balance? Is who you are individually balanced with who you are in a partnership, in whatever that partnership looks like, not just one thing. So all of those questions is what we are looking to answer in the specific new moon in Libra. So sorry, give me a second. Another thing to note for this specific new moon is that the sun will be opposing Mars. Okay, so even though we have this beautiful emotional alignment with our egos, okay, because the sun rules our ego, moon rules our emotion. Sun is also our willpower. It is our inner child, and so it puts us in a very sensitive space. So when we have the sun opposing Mars, which is the planet of passion and drive and the force and how we go to war, how we fight, and what we're really passionate about, when you have this opposition, is not necessarily good, because it's still, both of these two planets are very fire elements. Okay, so you have sun, which is fire, Mars, which is fire, and then you have like this kind of like, we're not on the same page. So your inner child, who you are as a persona, is not necessarily in alignment, in direct alignment with Mars right now, with your passion, with your drive, specifically for this new moon. So you want to sorry guys, I'm literally super like dry today. So specifically for this new moon, you want to focus on balancing your fire. Okay, specifically because of this opposition, you want to make sure you're balancing your fire, because it's almost like you're getting pulled in two directions. The sun and Mars are both fire energies, and so having this kind of tug with fire can be greatly misused, and could start some smaller fires that you really might not want to start. Okay, and the way that I see this manifesting is strictly with kind of like lashing out, or, you know, trying to force something to happen when it can't happen. Remember, Mars is still in retrograde, so you are still getting that restriction there with Mars itself. So even if you yourself, your will is XYZ and you want to get XYZ done, Mars is like, well, not completely, but let's figure us out. What are we doing? What else do we have going on? What else are we working on? Like, what do we need to do first before you try to run to the end of the game here? Like, what is it? And it's right now, it's still a lot of ego healing that needs to happen. So in order for you to use this, it's either you're gonna get triggered into like doing a lot of inner child healing work, or you are going to kind of be a little bit fired up, a little bit angsty, kind of lashing out here and there. The energy can really manifest in different ways. It can be supportive if you're trying to have a breakthrough especially if you're trying to break like one of your own boundaries, and like maybe your own, you yourself have been stopping your own progress. It can be helpful in that energy if that's what you want to tap into, but it can also be a little bit frustrating to work with when you're like, okay, I chose the direction, but then Mars is like, you still got a whole other things that you need to focus on, heal, address before you can run in a certain direction. And again, it's not necessarily about choosing somewhere and running with it. It's about the balance, okay? New moon and Libra energy is about balance. Please make sure you go watch how to maintain the balance video that I posted recently, because you're going to get the information that you need from that. And that is particularly helpful for this specific new moon. Don't think that just because Libra is a cardinal sign, is cardinal energy, is about forward process, that you can completely manifest like moving forward, like that progress that needs to happen. This moon calls for balancing the self first before you try to even get there. It's just like, hey, think of this specific time as a checkpoint. It's like it's like, you know, when you're playing Super Mario and you know you're still on that one level, but you just got to the checkpoint. That means if you happen to die, you come back to the app during that checkpoint. You don't come before, so you don't get to repeat the things before, but you're at that checkpoint. Think of this specific cycle right now as that checkpoint period. Okay, so yes, you went through all this stuff already, but if you cannot necessarily progress forward and continue past the level until you actually do it correctly, because you keep dying on the level, you keep jumping on the mushrooms wrong, on the you keep dying and getting killed with the turtles. Okay, lots of Super Mario references. Y'all better have played Super Mario once in your life, so y'all can at least get what I'm talking about. But you just keep dying before you get to the end of the game, and you're trying to reach the end of the level, but you can't because you keep dying. So it's this is kind of like that. It's like, hey, resolve your strategy, have a game plan. What do you need to address before then? Is there something else, a boost that you can give yourself? Lots of Super Mario references today. Is there a boost that you can give yourself that can help you get past the hurdle? And that spell work could be that boost to get you to the next level. Like more of working and using with the energy of balance, being in alignment with yourself, so that way when you need to take those steps, you can progress. So the intentions that you can set for this specific new moon could be surrounding being in alignment, having more self-control, being more purposeful with yourself, your intentions moving forward, having more clear-cut intentions of not only what it is that you want to achieve, but who do you want to be at the time that you achieve it as well. So being more focused on that self-balance is really important for this specific moon. The next one, Sun will be squaring Jupiter, Sun will also be squaring Saturn, and Sun will be squaring Pluto. Okay, the Sun is fighting a lot of different energies, okay, for this specific new moon. And the best way that you need to try to, I guess, use the energy is to use it as an elevation. Okay, the planets are aligning themselves for this specific new moon. It's in a way that it's like, are you pissed off yet enough to change the thing that you need to do? How much more do we need to throw at you for you to change your circumstances, for you to change your habits, for you to start doing more, start doing better for yourself? Okay, Sun square Jupiter, Jupiter being a planet of abundance and expansion and growth, travel, knowledge, higher knowledge. Okay, when the Sun squares Jupiter, it honestly means that your moves have been not coming from a place of a higher mind. Okay, you might be have been making some moves out of ego versus out of actually progressing yourself, actually helping yourself, actually getting yourself to a better spot. And maybe you could be stuck on some fixed kind of sign-ish energy where you're kind of stuck in your ways and you want to call in new things and new prosperous things in your life, but then at the same time, you don't want to do the work and you don't want to release certain things in order for you to make room for those new things to come in. So Jupiter says, and the Sun says, like, hey, you want this luck? You want this abundance? upgrade yourself. Stop thinking that you're just gonna just sit on your ass and get everything that you want. You still need to make moves. You still need to experience life. You can't just sit in your room in a corner and be like, yeah, I'm gonna manifest every single thing, not doing absolutely anything. You still have to put a step forward. Don't forget that Libra is still a sign of action. It's a cardinal sign. So you do have to put a step forward, because Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are in Cancer. All of them squaring the sun, okay? All this Capricorn energy squaring the sun in Libra, saying, hey, if you want to have this balance, if you want to actually progress, if you want to be stable, because that's what Saturn's asking you. It's like, hey, do you want to be stable, or we could just fight about this karma you're about to receive for you wasting all this time that you had in your hands and you didn't do anything with it. Pluto squaring, the sun squaring Pluto, saying, hey, are you trying to transform? Are you going to let me do the work that I need to do, help you transform, help you go through this cycle, so that way that you come out of this in a better spot than you did before? Like, what is the conversation here? What does it look like? And so there's a lot of like friction energy. There's a lot of, really pushing things in your face. This new moon cycle, I feel like it's going to push you to transform, and push you more into balancing yourself out more than some might, expect it to, but it will. And that sun conjuncting moon energy is just going to help you, if you use it properly, it's going to help you feel more aligned when all the chaos is happening at the same time. But I do feel like ultimately, it calls for a higher and just a more knowledgeable way of doing things, a more just grown up way of doing things, because you have a lot of the generational planets doing this heavy fighting and you do see the moon squaring Jupiter, moon squaring Saturn, moon squaring Pluto, moon also opposing Mars. So that Libra energy is really fighting all of these other planets that are saying, hey, you haven't been balanced, you haven't been doing the best for you. Are you gonna get it together now? Is this the moment? Are you gonna keep, not doing what you're supposed to be doing? And that's really when you have to start to allow yourself to bring in that energy of balance, tapping into that Libra energy in order for you to take in the lessons and take in the energy itself, because it is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little chaotic. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's going to take a lot of balancing and a lot of intention for you to say, okay, you know what? I take this day full on, head on. I appreciate the energies. I appreciate the lessons that are being taught to me. I welcome the changes, the shifts that I'm being blessed with during this time in my life. I open my arms to these shifts, and I pray and set the intention for them to make me a better person. Like, you're gonna have to wake up that morning and say a whole prayer before you continue on upon the day, especially because especially energy is air energy. You want to work with your throat chakra, you want to work with your mind, your thoughts, your crown, all your upper 3 chakras. You want to be doing the work with that. So don't dismiss that, please. Now the next thing that we need to talk about is Mercury in opposition with Uranus. Okay, so you're gonna definitely be seeing a lot of downloads coming through. Mercury is in Scorpio in retrograde during this time. Okay, and so we do see this kind of battling out with Uranus, trying to knock some sense into some of y'all's damn heads. Okay, Uranus energy. Uranus rules revolution. It rules sudden, quick change. He rules the higher mind as well. So it's not just like about, hey, I'm gonna make stuff happen and make you trip and make you have a car crash and make you step in lava and die. It's not about that. It's about evolution. It's about the upgrade. It is about becoming more just as far as in connection to your higher self, more in aligned with your higher self, with your higher purpose, with how you get to those points in a more progressive way. Uranus is always about progression. Those changes that he throws at you, he's trying to say, okay, you've been in this routine for a really cute minute. I need you to regroup and reanalyze the way you're going to address this, because it's just been the same. You've been getting comfortable, okay? I got to throw something at you for you to be like, oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. Let me just try to address this issue so I can move forward and not have these issues. So Uranus is like an unexpected shift, but it's happening in our minds, okay? It's kind of like Uranus is going to push our minds, our understanding to dive a little bit deeper, because Mercury is in Scorpio. So you need to be very, very mindful of the messages that you get from the ancestors on this new moon cycle. You might be getting some very, very direct, bold downloads. Definitely recommend doing an ancestor meditation at some point during the day, just to assist you and guide you during the day. I just posted the ancestor meditation, one of many, on my YouTube, so definitely make sure you check it out. You can find it on my channel. But specifically, this is gonna have it's definitely a shift in the mind. Mercury being a Scorpio directly connects us to the dead, and you know, those who have passed on, but also to the unconscious mind. So Uranus being there is saying, hey, you know, some things are going to get shaken up on this day that you might have not been aware of, that now you need to be aware of. So watch out for any type of energies when it comes to friends, when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. You might kind of find out some things that are not, you know, the funnest things to find out, especially if you've been ignoring some of the energies. Venus is in opposition with Neptune on this day, so there are some illusions that are rising to the top of the situations. Venus is also in a trine with Pluto and is also in a trine with Jupiter, so it does give the energy of, you know, it's a question mark. I do feel like some relationships might go through a little bit of a tough time this specific on a Friday, especially if it's not meant to last. This new moon is going to show you if it's not meant to last, because the energy of revelation is there with Mercury in opposition, just opposing Uranus, and then at the same time Venus opposing Neptune. Neptune, when it's opposing anything, is revealing the lies. It just is. It really is. It's just like you can see right through what's going on, right through the truth, right through anybody's, you know, illusion that they're trying to sell you. You could just see right through it. So be very mindful with relationships, with conversations, the things people are saying. If something's rubbing you the wrong way, if somebody said something and you're still like, you know, that sounded kind of weird, pull some cards on it. You know, try to dive a little bit deeper into your understanding, so you're not kind of feeling, you know, confused, because you're going to get those downloads. Uranus is all about giving you the downloads, so we're going to be getting it through communication, but specifically with our minds. So make sure that you're ready to receive. Okay, make sure you're ready to receive. Okay, so the next one that we are going to be talking about, hold on. Okay, so we have Mars squaring Jupiter, Mars squaring Saturn, Mars squaring Pluto. Okay, so there's definitely a lot. Again, this just lends to the misdirection of fire. I do feel like the fire element itself, I personally wouldn't burn anything on Friday. I know that like candle magic, it's like the go-to for many people, but I personally would not be burning, unless you're doing a fire purification ritual. I would not be burning anything on Friday, just because the energy is not lending to fire. I do feel like fire itself, well, it's a little bit I want to say out of control on this day. I don't think that it can be controlled or directed on this day. That's why you're getting all this opposition, all of this square energy, all of this fighting, all of this, like, it. I just don't think you should be working with fire for this specific new moon. Do you if you want, but you know, it's still an air moon, so I would say out of everything, I would be focusing on meditation. I would be focusing on air elements, crystals that can help with your upper 3 chakras, so your third chakra, third eye, and crown. I would be focusing on that work versus, you know, trying to burn something and set intention in that way. I just don't think this moon calls for that, specifically for spell work, specifically looking at these squares. It's just like, especially because, listen, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are all in Capricorn. I just don't see how you can push against that with fire. You can't make earth move faster by trying to fight it by throwing fire on it. Fire is not nurturing to earth. So I don't think you should, you know, go out of your way to do that. It's just, I personally don't see it as a, you know, as a positive aspect. Lastly, Jupiter, it will be in conjunction with Saturn, Pluto, and Saturn will be in conjunction with Pluto. And of course, that is happening because all of them are a Capricorn. So don't forget about the underlying energy. Don't forget about the underlying energy. I've said this for a long time. Capricorn energy has been the lingering energy within the chart for a really long time. So don't forget that it's still there. The point of it all is to come back to grounding, come back to your longer term goals, come back to manifesting and setting intention for longer term progress, longer term elevation, longer term abundance. It's not just about short, you know, short spells that it's not really about that right now. There's still this underlining current of what are you going to do? What do you want to do? Who are you? What do you want to be? How are you going to get there? What steps are you taking to help yourself get there? All of these type of things. So don't forget about the earth energy being there. Just don't throw fire on it. That's like my only thing. So that was my specific reading for this new moon in Libra that's coming up on Friday. I hope that you have a very, very beautiful one. I am about to start the live because I did this video right before, and I went a little bit overtime. So I'm just gonna start the live now. I will see you guys there. Definitely don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Patreon because we're always learning and growing over there. Also, on Wednesday is the last day for tickets for the workshop that I'm having on Halloween. So make sure that you get yours. Free tickets are all sold out, but donation tickets are still available. And there's like 3 ritual kits left. I'm sending those out and shipping those out this week. So definitely make sure if you want to get your hands on it. That live is going to be private. It's not going to be public. So if you want to be there, make sure you grab your tickets. Okay. I will definitely see you guys in the live. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.